Hello, our chillins, and welcome to VFX and Chill. This is our live weekly talk show where we like to break down visual effects from movies and TV shows and then try to put them back together again. And in service of educating you, our lovely viewers, we take every fourth Friday of the month to host what we call the VFX Royale, which is an exciting challenge where we take your suggestions of fictional characters from movies and TV shows and put them into a little jar. You know, we punch some holes in there, but then we shake it up and make them fight.
Yeah, it's important that they live and breathe so that they can die on their own, not their own terms, but the terms of Darwinism, right?
Precisely.
Yes.
And I should mention, I am Hashi.
Speaking of Darwinism,
my lovely co-host Seth.
Speaking of the fittest and survival, that's Hashi and I'm Seth, and we're both the two fittest dudes.
And we're both surviving.
VFX, and we're both
anything
surviving.
we can fit into.
Speaking of fit, we also have our good pal, Mr. Michael. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are y'all?
Hey, we're doing well.
How was NAB, guys?
NAB was exciting. For those of you who got to see any of Maxon's lovely streaming stuff, I got to attend NAB, which was really lovely. So thank you to Maxon and a million different people for making everything happen. It was a good time, and we got to show off some cool new tools and meet a lot of lovely people and interact with them in person, which is always a really, really nice way to get to meet all of you. But
what was your favorite moment? Was it when you karaoke sang "Take on Me" or
what? No, there were lots of delightful moments.
Did I miss that? That's terrible that I missed that. Did that really happen?
Yeah, we rode a limo with people to fancy karaoke, and that was quite exciting. Beeple, who is an amazing member of our community, treated the Maxon team to an exciting night, which is really lovely. If you don't know the history of Mike Winkleman and what he does, you should look that up. He's a really wonderful and generous
yes, he is.
person.
And he made the cover of Time magazine with our software.
Oh yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, he rules. I've met him only a couple times, but he was a very sweet guy when I met him, and his work is amazing. So we all love people.
And yeah, don't tell anyone.
He's here in your room.
I have confirmation that a certain Kramarian is alive and well. In case any of you were curious.
We are all curious. I think the chat is always curious about the certain Kramarian and whether he'll show in any tutorial. I think ever since 2009, the chat of every VFX related tutorial that has ever gone online has had at least one question of whether a certain Kramarian were going to show up, as if he were omnipresent in all visual effects tutorials, which he is.
Absolutely. So, for all of you out there, I would never specifically recommend that everyone start, chatting up Video Copilot and encouraging them to move it along because we're eager.
But do it.
Do it. Anyway, everyone is well. It was really great to see a lot of people, and Maxon was super generous in what they hosted them through, and interacting with everyone was
if you ever get a chance to go to NAB, Maxon does nice stuff for all y'all users. So swing by, play pinball, etc.
Oh man, that's the thing that I hate that I missed the most about not getting to NAB this year was the pinball party. Is like anytime anybody new comes to NAB that's like a friend of mine from outside of wherever, outside of Maxon or whatever, and they come, like I overhype the pinball party because it always ends up being the absolute most fun event of the week, because it's literally everybody that it tends to be like the last night of the conference, and it's like everybody. It's like the scene from it's like Avengers Endgame, but without Thanos, and if they're all just chilling and playing pinball instead of fighting for their humanity and survival, and much fewer deaths.
Yes,
and everybody's so relaxed because they're all done doing their presentations. We're all like kind of done working, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is the coolest time. I have a lot of fun memories from those pinball parties, and they're in a new building now, I hear.
They are. The new Pinball Hall of Fame is amazing. I think it's still called the Pinball Hall of Fame, but it's right next to the actual the famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign now.
Oh, really?
And it's this beautiful, very minimal looking building, but it's a giant open, clean, bright space, which is really cool.
That is the exact opposite of the space that they were in for years.
So that was half the conversation. There was like, look at this place.
That's incredible.
And multiple bathrooms.
That's new.
Yeah.
Super high ceiling. And
I don't think I ever went to the bathroom at a pinball party, but I think I just assumed that there wasn't one available in the previous building.
It gives off that vibe. But really good time. And if you ever want to meet any of your motion graphics or visual effects heroes,
they're all
make your way to NAB and the pinball party.
And they're all there, and they're all super chill and cool. Yeah. What was I going?
Speaking of pinball parties.
Speaking of those similar sounds.
Yes. So speaking of Vegas and roulette wheels and excitingness, I think that we should start diving into our VFX Royale. What do you think?
I agree. Hashi, you want to go first?
Let's do it.
Spin.
Feeling lucky.
Oh man, this worked out really nicely.
We got double doctor action.
Medical doctors. Doctors are dubious.
I actually would love to see Doctor Strange redone with Dr. Mario in his place, mainly for that scene at the beginning when he actually does brain surgery on somebody or whatever he does where he pulls the bullet out of somebody. Like, I want to see Dr. Mario doing that and everyone very nervous.
I feel like the end of the Doctor Strange movie is what happens if you take all the pills Dr. Mario is throwing at you.
Oh, 100%.
What if we just do like the chaotic scene where it's Rachel McAdams being horribly mistreated by him post-surgery.
But it's me,
and
Mario.
He just says really hurtful things to her.
Oh my God, we're going dark. My turn. Ooh.
Well, another doctor.
Oh,
another doctor.
Hey, it's the doctor episode.
Oh, good God, this is great. Michael.
I was kind of hoping for Doofenshmirtz.
We're all hoping for Doofenshmirtz. Okay. I don't know where to begin with that.
Is that Barney from How I Met Your Mother? Or
definitely.
I made
Barney
this
from
list
The
and I've not
Simpsons?
watched How I Met Your Mother, so I mean, at least I added Barney to the list. And no, I'm referring to.
I mean, Barney from How I Met Your Mother is like a gay guy playing a heterosexual guy, which was me for a number of years.
Hey.
What if it's also Barney and we don't know? The Barney the Dinosaur. What if they have that parallel?
Barney the Dinosaur, is that
similarity?
what this is?
I'm pretty
So
confident
Luke
that's what it
Skywalker
is.
Versus Barney the Dinosaur? Okay.
Yes, the as in the toy that comes to life without warning around children and forces them to go on adventures. Yeah.
You have to run around in a circle.
I forgot that was
You
part
have
of the
to
lore.
share.
He's a toy, right? And then
Yes.
The toy at the beginning of every episode, and magically for no reason.
I've got a picture
Evil
of
magic,
me.
I assume.
I've got a picture of me somewhere wearing the Baby Bop head.
nice.
Yeah, I think my grandmother, when she was in Dallas, she was like really involved with. She like made costumes for like Dallas Repertory Theater and stuff, and she had friends that I think they shot that in Dallas. The show Barney. And why am I spending airtime on this? Let's go to the splits, as we call them, the After Effects window, or as we like to call it, Hashi's bank accounts.
Yes. All right. Oh, let's see. I'm still. It looks like the last thing I was doing in the Las Vegas airport was.
That's like. Is that the same model we've been using? Because that Raptor looks like Jim Henson-y to me.
Yeah. This is our model.
He has to look Muppety. He's right next to a real live Muppet.
It must be the lighting or something. You really accentuated his eyes and made them look slightly bigger.
It was a weird combo of like I wanted the same like side lighting that Obi-Wan had, but I also wanted the same like kind of. It was a weird one to colorize because it's certainly like flesh tones, but then getting kind of bluey tinted, and this is a realm of color I'm very uncomfortable with because I have no idea what's matching. So I was trying lots of color sampling.
It looks freaking great.
Well, thank you.
Like really great.
So let's close that project down and start a new one up for the chills today. Let's see. Let's.
I am pretty confident that
save
there is
that.
a Doofenshmirtz. Oh, look, there's the building. Pretty sure there is a. Yep, this one.
We need that.
And
drop.
it's rigged in Mixamo. I got lucky. Thank you to SDOAJ on Sketchfab.
Oh my goodness! I'm going to have to go a similar direction and start searching for some. What have we got?
You know what? I'm thinking. I think we have a Spider-Man Mixamo already, don't we?
Fictional has
Definitely.
Spider-Man movements in the library, like very Spider-Man movements.
Yes.
But there's not an actual Spider-Man model because that would be copyright issues.
Let me see if I have something for you, Seth. It depends on what I have access to here.
Hashi, are you rolling from scratch today?
Yes, completely. So
You keep doing that to yourself.
I kind of am too today, to be honest.
man,
so-
getting to the end of an NAB week, can be rough.
We've also, I don't want to say we've been spending a lot of time on Raptors because we haven't.
It's barely. I mean,
anyone
like, yeah. If you're a big fan of the show, you may have noticed. Like, it's a recurring theme here and there. But.
All right. Well, I've got Doof. I think I've got. All right, I've got a Spider-Man model. I don't know if it's the same one. Because I remember you did one with that for Action Movie Kid that was great. That was the. Or maybe you did it on the show. That was that New York.
Yeah. That's the one that I'm looking for. I'm trying to think of where I would have had that saved. Okay, it would be here. It would be under Action Movie Dad files, and what would I have called it? Hopefully Spider-Man or something like that. Spider Swing. Okay. Elements and 3D stuff. One of the exciting things to do at NAB was watch Beeple create one of his everydays, especially for getting to see the way he whips through the absurd collection of libraries that he's got over the years.
Michael, is that still online, or are they taking that down?
It's back online.
Okay.
There was a copyright strike from NBC Universal. When I first heard it was down, I was like, "What do people do?" But it was the lovely Brit Andy Needham had something in his reel, I think, that triggered NBC Universal.
Okay.
Because a lot of our presenters are like, do big things. Yeah. Anyway, something somewhere in his presentation triggered it, but we fixed it, and it is back online. I say we fixed it. The MoGraph.net guys fixed it. We're good to go.
They were great.
Oh, they're fantastic. Love them.
Okay, wait. Share. How do I send this link to you? Create and copy link. And link copied. Okay, Seth, I've got to send this to you. Where do I send it to you?
Oh, on Slack. I'll go to Michael's screen while you navigate that.
Yes. Go ahead. Come to my screen. I've got stuff to show.
You got an X-Wing.
Whoa.
I do have an X-Wing. Speaking of Andrew Kramer, this is an X-Wing from the Video Co-Pilot's Star Pack. I'm going to be working mostly today in Cinema 4D, I think, because I am comfortable in Cinema 4D, and I'm comfortable in After Effects too. But I think for this, I don't want to try to take a clip from the TV show in VHS quality from somewhere in the bowels of the internet and try to rotoscope it and put it together with anything from Star Wars. So I think I'm going to build it from. Yeah, I'm going to build it from scratch. So today I've got an X-Wing from the Video Co-Pilot Star Pack. I am currently splitting the wings apart so that I can make them go into attack mode or otherwise. So what I'm doing right now is you can add your own controls to anything in Cinema 4D by going to user data, add user data. So then you, instead of just, for example, this null object I have the X-Wing inside of, basic coordinates object is always there. But once you hit add user data, you get this thing called user data. And I need to adjust that because I got distracted. I want that wings open to have a float with a slider. So I set up a thing called wings open it's a float data type, meaning random numbers instead of, it doesn't matter. And I'm deciding to have a float slider as part of my interface so that I can whack the wings open or shut. But you'll notice the wings are not opening or shutting. I split the wings off the body and have put them on nulls that are centered in the middle there. And I'm going to dive into Xpresso. A lot of people are, oh crap, where is it at Xpresso? A lot of people are scared of Xpresso in Cinema 4D because it's all, it's got nodes and it's a little bit scary. But I think nodes are not scary because, especially for visual people, because nodes are like doing code without having to know or write computer code. I think it's more artist friendly, personally. But anyway, so I say I want to take this controller from the X-Wing and I want to make it control the rotation of those wings. So I'm saying X-Wing, you be in here, and I want this data, the user data, to be the control point. So I just drag it there to the out. So it's like, here is the thing, here's the control, and that data is going to come out of this node. And I want that data that comes out of that node to go into all of these nodes. So I'm going to bring these nodes in here. So I'm going to put both upper wings because they're all going to have to rotate differently. And I think the upper wings, I don't know, we'll see. Currently the data coming out of here is percentage 0 to 100%, and the data going into these is going to be need to be in radiuses, in degrees, that is. So let's see, it'll be, yes, so that needs to go negative. Bottom needs to go negative, and that probably means this other upper needs to go negative too. It does. Okay, cool. So we're doing the banking on all of these. So let's optimize these so I can actually read them. Right click, optimize, makes them all nice and readable. Right wing lower null, right wing lower null. I want your banking. Put that there. Left wing lower null, left wing lower null. Banking. And I know now that I'm going to need negatives to be right wing, and then the left upper wing is going to need to also be negative. So those two values are going to be the same, and these two values are going to be the same because the wings don't operate individually. They all open kind of together, but some of them are going to have to go negative and some of them have to go positive. So I know these two are going to be one way and these two are going to be the other way. Not sure which exactly way yet. Anyway, left wing upper null, left wing upper null, banking, and then right wing upper null. Right wing upper null, banking. So the data out of here is going to be percentages, and I need to translate it into how wide open these wings are going to be. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but I do know that to map that range to this new range, I'm going to need a range mapper null node. So I want the wings open to go into here, and then I'm going to say, hey, the output range is going to be user defined, obviously. The data type coming in is real. That's all good. Let me think about this for a second. Do I want to translate that into degrees first, then out? So many questions. There's a couple of different ways you can do that. I think I do. Degrees.
I think I do.
Oh, anyway, let me just put this out first. I'm going to need a math node because I'm going to need to swap sum to negative. So I'm going to need to multiply by -1. So whatever comes out of here, it's going to be multiplied by -1. And let's just put it down here for now. And then we want the regular data to come here and go there. So right now we have some control already. I'm going to pop this out so that we don't ever, that little section here doesn't ever go away. Just the user data. It's very handy. You can pop out windows in Cinema 4D. So this attribute manager here changes to be the attributes of whatever you've got selected. But you can hit that little pop out, and I've got the attributes of it over here that never changes, which is very handy. If I go up, you can see it goes the wrong way. So I can just automatically switch it here to say upper one. No, I can't. Can't do that. All right, let me see here. I'll just swap this one then.
Hashi, where are you at right now? No offense, Michael. Oh, Michael.
No, it's fine.
I realized I stopped
programming is not as exciting.
All right, so I have found this great Dr. Mario by Matthias H290 that I think I will use. I also I need to share this other this chaotic Dr. Mario that I really like this one by Raubot.
Ooh.
He's just got a real
That's
some real interesting energy. I don't know.
Speaking of interesting energy, if you can see my screen, I've got Doof pulled up in Mixamo, and it's very funny to watch Doofenshmirtz to give him like combat moves.
Oh my god.
That Doofenshmirtz is great.
You know what I think he needs? Let me see.
A victory at some point in his life.
You know what? I gotta replace the Cinema 4D on my dock. I just realized I still have R25 on my dock. I think he needs standby.
Standing by.
I think he needs Doc Ock arms.
What?
Of course.
So I have these. They're not rigged, and I wonder if I've just started learning this stuff. So I'm gonna see if I can try and rig this thing. I'm gonna need you guys are smarter than me. I'm gonna need you to you don't have to coach me along or hold my hand, but just tell me you're doing that wrong as I describe what I'm doing.
Oh, nuts! We have a new rope spline dynamic tool.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you'd want to go for this.
That would be too uncontrolled looking.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the arms are more like octopus arms, which are muscles all through. And
just
the
like
rope
me.
Dynamics would be like you have a point, and they dangle between, which is not what you want.
Yeah.
I think you would want the spline. I'm trying to think. You could do a spline IK rig.
Okay.
Which would give you the control to move. Say, I want this hand to go here, and then this part stays here, and this hand stays here, and it would kind of like IK between those points. That might be your best way to go.
How am I going to do that? Because my only thing I know to do is like joint tool, control, click, 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 click.
Yeah, you don't want to do that for these arms because they're too noodly.
Okay.
You'd probably want to do a spline IK rig, or to go really, really simply, just put a spline roughly the shape of one of the arms. And then you would use a little bit of Xpresso to make it easy to control, but make it like a B spline instead of a Bezier spline, or one of the other spline interpolation types, doesn't matter. So you'd have a beginning point and an ending point and a middle point would be the only three things you need to control, and really only the middle and end because the other part you'd connect to the body. And then you would just use a spline wrap deformer on the arm, so that then you just move the spline. And the arm follows with.
That's smart. Okay, so hang on. How do I draw that spline initially? Like, what do I want? What's the process I want to do for that?
Just a spline. Just to get a spline tool, make 3 points.
Okay.
And then move those points to where you need them to be.
Oh, I see.
Just spline pen.
So
click,
just
click,
boop,
click,
boop, bop.
and then move those points. But you want to change that to be probably a B spline.
How do I do that?
In the spline, click on your spline.
Spline.
And go to the object and type where it says Bezier.
What?
Just change that to B spline.
What? Where? Hang on. Oh, I see. So draw it first.
Yeah, 3 points.
Okay.
Just click, click, click. 3 points.
And then click it.
Then hit escape to get out of the drawing.
Oh, I'm out. I went to another tool.
The knowledge on display here is encapsulated.
So now if you go into points mode.
Okay.
Top there. And then just see.
Okay. Got it.
So now you drag and you've got automatic nice curviness without you having to mess with Bezier handles.
Right.
You might change it from B spline to one of the others like a Kima to get depending on the kind of shapes you're going to want to make.
Yeah.
But basically, so now if you tie the very first point to your Doc Ock body.
Yeah.
And all you have to do then is to set up a controller, like a null object, to be the point of your second and third points. Then you could just move the end point around, and the hand goes where you want it, and then move the middle point to adjust how the arm is angled that way. That'd be the easiest way to do a simple rig of this arm.
I'm following with you. I'm going to try it. Thank you, sir.
Well
No
done.
problem.
I am realizing that this Dr. Mario is broken up into a bunch of little teeny tiny textures. So I'm right now on my other window trying to remote desktop into my desktop way back home.
What?
To see if I can use the Sketchfab importer to do this, because I think that it'll be faster, to be honest, than
Incredible.
me linking 26 textures. But it requires me to type in this very small window that I hope I can see. So I'm going to be boring for a second until I can get my Dr. Mario working.
You always say that.
Log in. Yes, I typed it correctly. Okay. Dr. Mario.
I have a question for Star Wars folks.
Okay.
You know, anyone who's a Star Warsy person.
Hashi's the one on this call.
Star Wars.
Yeah, how wide do those go when they're in attack mode?
Less.
Like, I feel like this is too wide.
Less? Too wide. Less.
Is that too?
That's pretty
perfect?
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So really, all I had to do is say, "Hey, map from 0 instead of going from 0 to 1, or in this case, which is equal to 0 to 100%, go from 0 to 30%." And that's really all I needed to do. Just swap some of them to go the opposite direction, and now I've got a little controller here on my X-Wing user data. I can go fully open, closed, fully open, fully closed.
Ingenious.
Boom. So all I had to do is split the 4 wing parts out, which are made up of a bunch of tiny, ridiculous pieces. And
Tiny what pieces?
ridiculous little tiny pieces.
Got it.
Similar to Hashi's problem of a bunch of little tiny pieces. All these little pieces on here were all separate parts.
That's a lot.
Look at all these little parts. Like, these all were separated. Now, some of it I could select just a few polygons and hit UW, which is select connected, but a lot of these were individual pieces. But I got them all separated. Then you hit UP to split them off from the main model to make their own little parts. Put them in that null centered on the X-Wing.
Wow.
And there. Let me get back to this. And now they're there. Don't need that spline. That was my demo. That was my test for Hashi.
Can I
Or
add
for
a
Seth, I
point
mean?
to the spline? Wait, never mind. I did it. Love you, bye.
All right. I am saving a version of Dr. Mario to the Dropbox, and we'll have to see how long that takes to pop up over here. Okay. Elements. Come on in here. Where did I save you? Refresh. Come on, Dropbox.
Okay, so now I do a spline deformer.
On the arm, yeah. Well, the problem
is a bunch of arms.
you're going to run into here, hang on, this might be worse than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that your arms are already deformed.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to not work as well as we might have hoped.
Damn it, Michael.
need, because you know what might be easier is just model your own arm straight, grab that hand piece, and you put it on the end of your straight arm, and then you've got one thing, make one rig of it, then duplicate it as many times as you need, rather than trying to make this thing work for you.
Yeah.
Since that arm rig is fairly simple, like you really just need like a cloner of a bunch of like tube pieces.
Yeah.
So just make a cylinder, then one small cylinder, clone it, grab that hand piece, tack it on the end, and you're good to go. That's what I would say. So delete all the arm, or you could actually just grab one of those pieces if you want to get real fancy.
You could just grab one of the pieces and then clone it along a spline, right?
Yeah, no, just make it a linear clone.
Oh,
Just say clone
and then
linear straight line, because you don't need the spline for that. Because you're putting that arm on the end. So then you'll have just one piece, like that one cloner with your hand on the end, and then you put the spline deformer on that whole shebang. So nest it all under a null, spline and deformer that.
I'm probably
and then once you have that working the way you like,
shot.
then you can just duplicate however many times. It's Doc Ock, so technically, probably should have 8, but whatevs.
All right, let's see if I can grab just one of these pieces.
Go into polygonal mode, select one polygon, and hit UW and see if it is built nicely.
UW?
Yep. Boom.
Oh wait, okay. How do I separate this from
UP.
Well, tell me what that's doing so I know.
It's called split.
Ah, and that is up here in mesh?
It's under, mesh.
Cut. Clone, split.
There you go. So you've got that now. Yeah, so you don't even need that part anymore at all. There you go.
I'll
There's
need the
your
claw.
piece.
But let's focus on this for now. I'm going to pull this out of the octopus and turn that off. And now to clone this, I drop it. Here's where I'm confused about Cinema 4D. I'm sorry, Michael, you got your own shot you're doing, but
no, it's fine.
I can't figure out when I'm supposed to drop something into a thing or drop a thing into something. Okay.
So here, the basic principle is this. If you're deforming it, the deformer goes in the hierarchy with it.
Okay.
So underneath it or next to it inside a null. If you're making a generator, which you are in this case, as the cloner is generating pieces, then you feed the thing that you're generating into the generator.
Got it. And that's going to be right here. So I'll...
Yeah. Now, if you wanted to get even fancier...
I don't. Just kidding. I might.
When you apply... Instead of... You could save yourself a step by holding Alt when you click the cloner. If you're holding Alt when you add anything, so like a null or a cloner, the thing you have selected will go already underneath it in the hierarchy. See?
Now, what if what about for like deformer? What would I do? What would I hold?
Shift.
Shift. Brilliant. So okay, I've got this cloner, and I'm going to. Let me see if I can.
It's probably the center. It's probably at the center of your world now.
Yeah. And.
Hang on. Go into you're in object mode. Turn off the cloner for a second.
Okay.
And click on your tentacle thing. Okay. Yeah, so the tentacle is like way separated from the thing. Go to, I think it's in mesh. It is
move.
Where'd they move it to? What we need to do is you want to axis. There it is. Yeah, tools axis.
I'm going to center it.
Yep, center axis 2.
Center axis 2.
There you go.
Ah, okay.
Now open your cloner and things should be more where you wanted them to be. Centered on the cloner, probably. Likely. Yeah, there you go.
Oh. I see. Okay. So if I turn this up, it's going to give me a whole bunch of clones. But it's where are they? Like, oh, they're way down there.
Yeah, it still is. I wish I could control your screen. Make a new. Just pull out of that. Pull it out of the cloner.
Okay.
And then delete that cloner. Click on your tentacles and go to coordinates tab and just zero everything out.
Ah, I see. I see what was happening.
Yeah.
Got it.
There's ways to fix it, but this is the easiest, just to kind of get back to where you should be.
There is a reflection map on this thing. Who knows what that is?
Yeah, it's just that material set is reflective, and Cinema 4D has a default HDR that's in the screens, just so reflections aren't black.
Is that its default?
Yeah, that's its default HDR. If you add a sky object and put a different HDR on it, it will reflect that instead.
Got it. I'm not too worried about that. So...
And check your scale, too, by the way. I can't see it on the screen.
I can't either. Let's see. Yep. 100.
Yeah, you probably want that to be 1.
Yes, sir.
Just to avoid weirdness.
I hate weirdness. It's my least favorite thing.
If you select an object in your object manager, then move your mouse over there and hit S.
Huh?
So select it, move your mouse over your viewport and press S, and it'll zoom to the it'll center the thing you've got in your window. So
it is so
if you're ever
I feel like I want it a little bigger than that.
Off somewhere.
Oh, it did. How did that happen?
Well, that's odd.
Oh no! What the? Okay, well,
I'm just sitting here, very, very, very sorry that I'm not didn't have a knockout thing prepared over here, but I'm.
How's it going?
Enjoying watching
Mario
the learning
looks hilarious.
I was having trouble getting my remote. Basically, my Dropbox is not doesn't seem to be sharing to here yet, so I'm trying to just manually link all of these. The thing that I didn't want to do, but it's probably just as fast.
Seth, go to this. Your head is in the way of the controls.
Oh,
On the object
anymore. It's not
settings. On the object settings of your cloner, change this
linear.
You go linear and then change the amount from 50 to like 5 on the down, up, down, there.
There?
Yeah.
What's the Y value?
You change it to 5.
Oh, 5.
Trying to figure out what scale your scene's at. Oh, there they are.
There they are.
Okay, so yeah, so take out the Y and put it in X instead. Put like 1.
Okay.
Well, put it at whatever value you need, but this is a ridiculously tiny model.
Yeah, well, I made it wasn't. I set it to. Oh, I see. It is a ridiculous tiny because I had it set scale to.
Yeah.
When I set the scale to 1, it got really small.
Right. What you could do is put it back to 100 inside of a null. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Just do whatever you need to do. You're at a good point now.
I see what you're doing.
Now, if you, and put that inside the cloner. And then now you can make it, there you go, see. Now you can make it a much larger number, and you're back to like where it should be, in Z. There's X, I mean. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, Michael.
There we go.
Yay. Look at that.
Nice.
Change it to render instances, by the way, instead of instance.
Okay.
Up, right there, yeah. That'll keep things smoother in your viewport. Now, if I were doing this, I would put actually, you don't even need to do that. Per step, go to your rotations. Down, right there. Go instead of where you have it on 5 on X, go over to the right to the rotations and find which one of those rotations makes it spin because the tentacles are twisted. So try one.
Yeah, I don't want to do that with the deformer. I guess I can't do that with the deformer later. You
could do it with a deformer later, but it's just easier not to have to mess with it. So just add a value there. Yeah. Probably 5 is probably too much, but you can tweak with it to taste. I'm going to go back to my stuff now.
Yeah, do it. Thanks, pal.
No problem.
Well done. You see, and I've spent all that time just linking these textures. They unfortunately were not, they didn't import as missing. They were just completely unlinked. So they're requiring me to go through and do this instead of getting to use my my little scene manager. But at least they're pretty well named. There's only been one or two that were not named what the object was named. Neck. Wow. It's taken me a very long time to get to being able to do anything.
I know. Me too.
That's all right. Vest. No. Shirt. Textures. Shirt.
Oh, Frigby, not cloning onto the spline in this case is because it's possible that because when you animate the spline length is likely to change because of the way Seth is going to be doing the animation. Instead of setting up a proper spline IK rig, just to keep things easy, Seth's just going to be animating the spline, so the spline length will change, and so the spacing between the stuff, between the clones would then change, looking very unrealistic. So if we make it first and then use the spline wrap after, no matter what length the spline is, so long as he checks keep length in the spline deformer, everything will stay the correct size and shape. No matter how long the spline is, the arm will stay the same correct length. So that is why Frigby Chillweather.
Excellent.
We have to call him by his full name every time.
I love Frigby Chillweather's full name.
So I am finally at the stage where I have the in the color channel for all of these assets, the proper texture. But now that means I've got a whole bunch of different geometry with a bunch of different things on them, and it looks like I doubled up on one. And I want to be able to export this and for it to be a little bit more manageable as one object, one texture, kind of like a video game model. So I am going to just grab this group and right-click and say Connect Objects and Delete. And that will make this one object like that with a bunch of different tags for the material. I'm going to save incremental to make sure I don't mess anything up, but I'm hoping that I can then take this object here, say, right-click on it. Did I grab that? Okay, great. And then I want to, oh no, it's from the menu here. I'll go to Object, Bake Object. Then in here, I'm going to check Single Texture. I think these are pretty low res to begin with, but just out of, just to give them some, whoops, I'll open up my Outlook too. 2048 by 2048, I think would be a good base for that. And let's just make this a little PNG, and I'll say, let's find a path for that. Let's put that in our Royale folder under 3D stuff, under our Dr. Mario right here. Let's say bake. Oh no, what have I done? Okay, that all came in as blank. I don't think it would help if I had illuminate checked. Sometimes when a texture is not meant to be shaded, it comes in the illumination channel. But it doesn't seem to be that. I've done something silly. Let me take a look at these. So in the color channel, I have it. Let me see what other... Oh, in the reflectance, they have something turned up. So I'm going to go through and disable the reflectance for all of these materials. So they only have a color box checked there. And I'm going to hope that that solves my problem here. Okay, I want a single object out of this one object. Let's try one more time. Oh no! All right, I've done something. And I don't like that. Okay, what would have happened if I just exported this guy as he was as my FBX? It's a lot of things to hope stay intact. Actually, let me see if I can undo hike back to where we had our full mini object Mario. That would be a cool character. Let me export him as an FBX and send it through good old Mixamo. All right, setting materials. I'm going to make the materials into it, and we'll call it Dr. Mario. Now off screen here, I'm going to log into Mixamo. Because, yeah, you have to relog into Mixamo if you've been logged out for, over 3 minutes.
Okay. And do I want to connect the claw to the arm? Probably.
Yeah, you'd want to put it, well, you don't need to connect it. You just need to put it inside a null.
Yeah.
Along with your cloner. So put a cloner, or put a null object like at the beginning, like right, just clicking null would probably do it, since your cloner's in the middle anyway.
It's centered.
And then put the cloner and the hand in the same.
Well, I made the cloner an object.
You don't need to do that.
I don't? I always need to when I do things.
I mean, I prefer keeping things procedural, but you can. It won't hurt to do that. It's not going to mess anything up.
All right.
Oh,
so
gosh.
Over on my screen, we're just doing the standard Mixamo pipeline, which I hope will work great with this model.
That model looks great inside Mixamo, I'll tell you that.
It does. I do love that you can package the materials with an FBX and then put it into Mixamo for a more to get to see your.
Didn't know Mario had
character.
blue eyes.
Oh, the bluists, the blue Italian eyes.
Famously blue, those Italian eyes.
And I'm going to, let's see, let's look at the finger options here. I believe Mario has 3 fingers and a thumb, right?
I mean, he's an animated character, so one would assume. I have not done enough internet research to know.
So let's try it out here. Let's go ahead and try auto-rigging this. We'll put him in the auto-rig microwave. Seth, those are some nice-looking claws over there.
Thanks. I didn't make the claws. That's a polygon. Wait, hang on. Where's my spline pin? I want to go boop, boop, boop. Oh, wait, no, I can just do it on the thing. So boop, boop, boop. And then...
Oop. All right, the doc is ready for surgery. Oh my goodness, this is exciting. Okay, so this still might be a nightmare in that. Speaking of nightmares, Michael, are you willing to share yet?
Oh my God!
Yes.
He came to life.
What?
So I've got a Barney here.
Good.
I got this
gravy.
Barney the Dinosaur off of Sketchfab. It was $5, which means I can use it in paid for projects. It's not a editorial or CC whatever. It's full on. Anyway, so I got this Barney the Dinosaur. I had to rig it and get it bound. There was like a kind of a rig attached to it, but like the guy had half-assed it, which is why it's a $5 model. Or girl, I'm not sure what gender the person was. Anyway, whoever made this model, I obviously wasn't quite done with it, but it was just like, good enough. I put it up there. So I'm trying to get it rigged. But anyway, once you get a decent rig, I did some weight painting to try to get everything kind of where it should be. I don't quite have everything right, because as you'll see, his hands are kind of flipped funky. But once you have a rig set up, you put this little tag on it called the character definition tag. And you'll put the manager up, and you can say, hey, this part of my character is this. This part of my character is, so like the torso. I've got the hips, the spine. I'm saying these bones here in this rig, well, not the tail, obviously, are these pieces, these parts, these pieces. And then you can import, if you look in the asset browser over here, in Cinema 4D, there's a whole bunch of motion capture things just right here for you to use. There's dying, there's picking things up, there's pushing, running, sitting. And you can take any of those.
And these are distinct from the Mixamo animations that people are getting savvy to.
Right. This is not Mixamo, the Adobe thing. This is right inside your Cinema 4D. And it comes in as a skeleton here. Let me see if I can see that skeleton. There it is. Note, this skeleton is a different size from my Barney. But it doesn't matter, because I just put this other tag called the character solver tag on my Barney. And it says, here's my target. What? Here's my target, which is the character rig that I built. So that one is in here. And then the walking loop, here I pop it in there. And it solves the difference between that rig and this rig. Now, I don't have the walking forward motion included. But, so, he's not going to move forward. But we've got our lovely little Barney here doing his little walk animation. I haven't incorporated the tail all the way yet, but I am working on that currently. So
that is phenomenal. How are you going to handle this tail? Is it going to be somehow like jiggly dynamics, or is it going to be actually?
Doing that. I was thinking about doing that actually, but currently, I've got my tail set up with an IK rig, so I can move it around however I want as the animator. So I was thinking I was just gonna make it kind of go back and forth to balance them, like dinosaurs actually use their tails, instead of just having it be a dangly thing. But yeah, so I just got to do that, then make him move forward, then I'll have a walking dinosaur, then the X-Wing can come in and attack him.
You see, now we need a Barney but with a Velociraptor.
Sid, this is VFX Royale. Hashi is doing Dr. Mario versus Doctor Strange, which is very appropriate. Seth is doing Spider-Man versus Dr. Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb, one of the greatest children's cartoons of all time. And I got given Barney the Dinosaur versus Luke Skywalker. So rather than having Luke Skywalker walk up and tear a hole in his stomach with his lightsaber, which would be a fairly quick fight, I've decided to nerf Luke by putting him inside of an X-Wing and shoot very weak laser blasts at him, because that's what happens in Star Wars. Lightsabers can kill anything, but blasters from a TIE fighter or an X-Wing...
They're like the magnifying glasses of, the Star Wars world. Like, ouch,
Yeah.
Ow, you blasted me. Ow. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I've got an X-Wing rigged up. Now I'm rigging up a Barney. As you do. As you do.
Exactly. Right now I am, and this is fairly entertaining. I am just going through Mixamo's library of magic motion capture. So I can put Dr. Mario in an appropriately like Doctor Strange kind of world. Let's see. What does the stance slider do? I'll put some a little bit more upright. Yeah, so here's him conjuring his pills to throw at Doctor Strange, maybe. I still haven't decided what the actual fight is here. But we're getting close to the 1 hour mark, so I got to start putting them into figuring out what my scene is.
Michael, look, we did it.
Yes.
What?
Yes.
You are a Pixar now.
I am a Pixar.
Now, in order to make this actually like usable, you're going to need to use a little bit of Xpresso to give yourself some controllers for that spline.
Well, I could. I don't have time though, because we've never done anything like that, and I really want to get Doof in here. So,
in that case, I'm trying to think of how best you can animate this.
Really, I just need to pose it. I think I'm just going to do a still.
Okay.
Because
then just pose it. Duplicate it.
You're the best, Michael. Thank you for helping me get it.
Make it. Hang on. Make one more null, and
put it down. That's weird.
Put it down.
Hang on. I need to actually say don't keep length because.
No, you need to keep length. Otherwise, everything will stretch.
Well, but I kind of need it to stretch if I want to. Say I want him to be standing still. Like I need it to stretch for my purposes right now because I need him to be standing, but I want him to wiggle around for reasons I'll get to in a second.
Which is why you need to use Xpresso to tie the points to things, because then you could just
fine.
How?
Tell me how then.
No. Just I'm
sorry I was mean. I'm sorry I was mean. I love you, Michael. I love you. Tell me.
No. Seriously, just do this for now because you just need to pose it, and we can fix it up later in a separate call.
Well, but I want to move around. I want to have a bunch of other arms, and I want at least the origin point.
Oh yeah. Okay. To quickly get you a bunch of other arms, make one more new null. You should start naming your nulls, by the way.
Shh.
And put your spline and everything inside that null. Put the spline and the arm inside that null.
Yes, sir.
Like everything in there. So that way you can just duplicate that.
Okay.
And then you'll have your spline rig. So duplicate as many times as you want, move the spline that's around you, you've got your rigs.
But the problem is, what if I want to move... What if I want to move this... Okay, let me rephrase this. So if I have a bunch connected to here, what if I want to have the other origin points of the other arms move and follow this spline point? How do I, like in After Effects, I would parent this point to a null and move that
so you
null
just
around.
Put those nulls inside other nulls.
But if I move those nulls, I'll move all these too. These points on the.
I see what you're saying. Here, see, this is why I wanted to use.
That's why I'm saying, help me do it.
Okay.
You don't have to. You know what? I can just start looking for things.
No, it's all you have to do is put the spline.
Should I have rigged this with some joints instead of doing it this way?
No. Put your create an Xpresso tag. So right click on your arm. The top arm. Yeah.
Camera
click on that.
Disappear.
Or just go to rigging tag or programming tag. Sorry. Programming tags. Xpresso.
I've never done this before, so I don't know.
Yeah. Bring your Xpresso window over.
Oh.
All right.
So intuitive.
So, put your spline in there.
Put the spline, just the spline?
Yep.
Boop.
And you're going to want 3 nulls.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop. In there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'll say base.
Yep.
Mid.
Mid and end.
End. And
Yep, drag all of them in there.
boop.
And you're going to want their global positions on the out. So the red side is the outside. So you want the data. You want to take that data and flow it into your spline data. So on the red, click, and go to coordinates, global position, and do that for all 3.
I'm learning.
Yeah. So now you've got your global position of all those nulls can be fed in. Move your Xpresso window to the side for a second and just move the nulls off of each other to like roughly the length of your.
Oh, I see.
Your spline.
So
Put them like roughly where the points of your spline are.
Okay. I think it's somewhere over there. And
yeah, just roughly so that when you do this, it'll happen.
Like where it is as deformed right now?
No, just
okay.
Wherever you want, because this is about
right.
these are about to be the points of the spline.
Got it.
And then you need I need to pull up. See, this is why I didn't want to do it on a call, because it'd be way easier for me to just see it. Hang on, let me just do it real quick on my end.
The easiest scene that I could remember of Doctor Strange kind of one-on-one battling is the classic Dormammu scene. It's got a really straightforward setup.
If you can tell, Dan Harmon, I believe, ghost wrote this on this sequence.
Phenomenal. This is one of the best. This was a fantastic moment. Also, Dormammu might phonetically look a lot like Dr. Mario.
Oh man!
If I don't remember what Doctor Strange's voice sounds like. If we have a clone of that somewhere?
I'm Doctor Strange. I'm not British. It's like that.
That was perfect.
Thanks. I am
Dr.
a Pixar.
Mario, I've come to bargain.
Well, let me tell you, I talk with a really low voice because I'm Benedict Cumberbatch and I'm American in this film. Hey, Hashi, why can't I see you? Where'd you go?
Oh, I keep on disappearing. I'm not entirely sure what part of the equation is making me disappear here, but I do know that the last time I did this, it brought me back.
Oh yeah, it's not coming through over your OBS.
Yeah, activate. And there it is, but it might disappear again.
Hey Michael, what do I do?
Oh, yeah.
That's the subtitle of this episode.
It really is. All for a part of it that is not even part of my assignment. I'm adding the.
You're turning Dr. Doofenshmirtz into Doc Ock Doofenshmirtz.
Yes, Doc Do.
I love it.
So you're gonna have him, Dr. Mario, hurling pills at him with this in this neon landscape?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Love it. Love the hell out of it.
I think this should work fine. Okay, so. Oh, you know what? I should be in After Effects beta, so I could scene detect this, huh?
I mean, that would probably help.
Then I can split this into some different scenes. Okay, let's just quickly save this as Dr. Mario. I've come to bargain. Save there. Let's open up After Effects beta. If you don't know, if you have Creative Cloud, you can go over to a little, it looks like a little flask, beaker flask thing that says beta on it, and you can download beta versions of After Effects that are updated daily.
You can.
So anyway, Seth, sorry.
I bought it.
You need to go, you need to get a point object. So go to your X pool to the left of your Xpresso window.
Yeah.
And hit the little search button and type point is probably the easiest thing to do.
I should spell it. How do I spell it, Michael? Okay, point.
Yep. And bring that over.
And just drop it into the box?
Yep.
Or?
Yeah, to the right of everything.
Right,
the
okay.
easiest, because your data is going to flow from left to right.
Okay.
So on your spot. Stop it.
How do I don't. Sorry, it's not intuitive. It's not doing what I think it's going to do. Sorry. Okay.
What do you? What?
Okay. 2 fingers. Everywhere else is to like pan, but here it's to zoom.
Yeah, here it's zooming. Yeah. So you can either hold your one key down and click and drag.
I use the hand right here. I'm good.
Yeah, that works. Okay. So on your spline node, you want the object out.
Okay.
So go down. Object is right by itself. Feed that into the point object's object.
That one?
Yep. And then on the blue section of that point object, click, because you need one more thing. Point position. And you're going to need 3 of those total, because you have 3 points on your spline.
Oh.
So so control drag on that control drag on the point object itself, the point node, the top part where it says point. To the right, in the middle, just control drag to make a duplicate.
Or command drag, maybe? Or...
Yeah. Sorry, if you're on a Mac. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. Sorry, okay.
So do it again. So you have 3. And now drag the object from the spline to the object on each one of those.
Point index?
Nope. Object.
What happened here?
Don't worry about it. Just drag from object to object. It's going yellow saying, hey, I don't have an object here. I can't do anything.
I see.
Drag your Xpresso editor up or to the left or whatever, because you're going to need to see your attribute manager too. Keep going, keep going.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Now on the point, the one you're on now, let's see. You're good on that one. On the point one, on the middle one, change the point index in the attribute manager to 1. So that's saying I want point
0,
number
1, and 2.
1 because it's programming. So point
so 0, 1, and 2.
First one, point 1. So that one's going to be point 2, and then you just feed the positions from the base into the point position. So the base position goes into point position, and position goes into the point position.
Okay.
Drag that into left side, because you're feeding the data into that node.
Oh, I see.
And that goes into that.
Ah.
That goes into that.
And now it's ready.
If you move the Xpresso editor out of the way for a second, you should see that if you move those nulls around.
Good God, Michael, you did it.
See? So those nulls can be
anywhere
in your system. And they will work.
You are a wonderful person, and I love you, and I'm sorry I was ever mean to you.
So I would throw all those underneath your base, underneath your arm 1, just so you have them like together, and then just copy and paste that arm 1 as many times as you want into your new scene.
Okay.
Or into this scene, I guess, wherever.
So could I technically make a base null and parent all the base nulls to like a master base null?
Yeah, because remember those once you have your arms duplicated, then you can drag those nulls out and put them wherever you want in your scene. Or if you want to get really fancy, you could use constraint tags. But we're not that fancy today.
Well, you're a freaking beautiful person. Thank you for all of this.
Folks, listen, this is super, super simple stuff. You just have to understand it's just the flow of data. Once you get, because this is a simple rig. Once you get this set up, it makes life so much easier for you down the road. Just a tiny little bit of Xpresso knowledge like this can make your other stuff down the road easier to do.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
I am excited for this exact reason. Okay, project location. I am popping into Premiere because I was having some trouble with the After Effects beta. And let's go ahead and create a new project in here, and we'll call the project Dr. Mario. And we'll say okay. Well, this is a new project dialog box I'm not used to. Let's see if I've done everything I want. Okay, we're going to save the project. Here we go. I don't want my Learn panel. I would just like to import some footage here. Let's grab that Dormammu scene. Let's toss it into, let's create a new timeline out of it, and right-click and say Scene Edit Detection, and that will automatically apply a cut anytime that there's an obvious cut. Now, in some of these like high effects, crazy fight kind of scenes, it still does a pretty darn good job. I think that it's looking for a threshold of total pixels changed with maybe some continuity parameters. I'm not sure. That's what I would do. But let's let that split that up in the background. And in the meantime, I'm going to jump over to Sketchfab. And why am I jumping to Sketchfab for this? I could probably build a pill in Cinema 4D, right?
Oh my god!
You would want the capsule object under the primitives.
All right, so here's going to be a very cool tutorial right here. So so what we do is we go to new project, and then we're going to. Oh, I've already messed up.
Oh man!
I almost fell over too. Okay.
Hold. Capsule. There you
Capsule.
go.
All right. So thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button.
Joking aside, please do smash that like button. So don't forget to subscribe, all that stuff, so that you get notified whenever cool things come out.
Yeah, we hate to solicit your love like that, but also, yeah, helps the channel and helps more of your friends discover our show. So we've got this capsule here, and the reason why I did not like Dr. Mario growing up was because it was not friendly for colorblind users.
Oh gosh, of course it wasn't.
Can't even imagine.
It was the stupidest game. I did not understand the point of it.
Oh my gosh.
I hated the whole medical field for this reason. I just thought I can't go into medical fields or, fighter
And that's what you told
pilotry.
your dad, right? When he was like, "You're going to be a doctor, right?"
It was like, I can't tell the green pills from the red ones. And he was like, here is a laptop at After Effects.
He was like, "I do more than that, I'm not Dr. Mario. This isn't documentary footage of me." And you just assumed he was lying.
I know a lot about medicine that I've learned from the Dr. Mario. All right. So we've got our capsule here. Let's, I don't know how, I'm going to add a few more segments to this so it looks a little bit prettier. Some cap segments, some height segments. I don't want to make this way too complicated because I want to probably create a cloner that's spitting a bunch of them out and like bouncing off a shield or something like that. So in that case, yeah, these are going to be moving pretty fast. I don't need to make these very high poly. They need to be just enough that they look like this. So let's see, pills.
Pills.
All right,
like at this point we should say, don't do drugs, kids.
Unless prescribed by Dr. Mario.
All right, let's create a couple of colors here. I truly don't remember what what types of pills Dr. Mario might have, but I'm going to switch to my polygon mode right here. I'm going to press C to convert this to some geometry. And then in polygon mode, I'm going to select half this pill. Oh, did I choose an odd number for height segments? Come on, Hashi. All right. All right. I'm undoing back to where this was. There we go. Okay. I need an even number of height segments before I convert it to geometry, obviously. So let's go ahead and select the top half of these pixels here, or of these polygons. Oh, and one more. And we'll paint these blue. And then we'll paint the other half. I guess it could be whatever. Start with white. Will be a fun color. All right, one thing that I should have learned how to do while I was with a bunch of talented people at NAB is how to make a variety of these.
Yeah, you don't really have any excuse anymore.
I know. I was just hanging out with Chris Schmidt doing freaking amazing things. All right, but yeah. Anyway, really, really great knowledge if you want to scroll through all the speakers at NAB, which is all posted online, so none of you have to feel like you missed out. All right, I'm just going to go with saving the project right there. And let's jump over to Premiere and see if my scene edit detection is done. If it is, I'm going to start kind of, let's put Premiere in half-screen mode, every editor's dream.
Every editor wants this shorter timeline.
Smaller timeline, and yes, this is wonderful. Okay. Okay, right before they start fighting. Where's that? It's around here. Okay, so a little bit of editing. We're going to have Dr. Strange looking up, and then Dr. Mario is going to start lobbing pills at him. More pills. Basically pills to replace these laser blasts, I think.
They always say, laser blasts, not drugs.
Exactly. And then this is going to be like the mega pill blast.
Hey, Hashi, I'm sorry. Can you remind me, Ragdoll, what's the thing I've got to create like around him first?
You for soft body dynamic thing, or like true Ragdoll? You'll need basically like a cage that is really low poly. I mean,
what do I make the cage out of? A square, or just any kind of geometry?
Yes. What I would do, actually, try this. Duplicate his whole geometry.
Meaning
doofs.
So is that everything here? Not including
wherever
his joints?
The actual geometry file for him is. So you can ignore his rigging.
Okay, so I'll put...
So somewhere there should be something.
So that's all him, I think, all that stuff.
Okay, so duplicate that as maybe duplicate that whole group and then connect and delete the duplicate that you make. So it'll be like it'll become one object, I think.
Connect and delete. Okay.
Okay, so now that you have that one object, go into...
Thank you guys for helping me.
Yeah, select the mesh there and go to polygon mode.
Okay.
And then if you... trying to remember, I want to have you basically run an extrude on him that inflates him a little bit.
Oh, okay.
You could also possibly do smooth, put him inside of a smooth object. And then we're going to run basically, to say the whole process, you could grab the polygons and extrude them out a little bit, so that makes it a slightly wider cage, and then convert that to geometry and then run it through a polygon reduction. And so it'll be based on him, but wider and fewer polys.
Probably the easier way to do that would be to throw that into a volume builder and then a volume mesher. Yeah.
Ooh, good call.
Builder first, then mesher.
What?
Doesn't make a volume builder.
Oh, I see.
Volume builder. Put him inside that.
Oh, put him
in
the
other way around.
Builder.
Yeah. And then put that inside a volume mesher.
He got marshmallow.
Yep.
Oh God. Okay.
And then if you look at the volume mesher, you might go to the volume builder first and put the voxel size down to like 5 probably. Get you a little bit more detail, and then go hide the Doofenshmirtz. so he's not distracting.
I'm gonna hide the original one.
Yeah. So then go to the volume mesher and pull the threshold up a little bit to balloon him out.
Ah.
Yeah.
So that
Down a little bit, and then put that inside of a. Probably.
By the way, this literally is like the staple of Marshmallow Man blew up on him.
Yep. Hit just to show everyone what it looks like. Hit NB. So that shows you what the actual mesh looks like. Then put that whole thing underneath a remesher object.
And that's gonna be
under there. Remesh right there. Up right there. Yep. And put the volume mesher inside that.
Okay.
And then wait for it to calculate, and then you can turn the mesh density down if you want a lower poly model. So this is using the Z remesher, blah, blah, blah.
That's cool. All right, so then that will be...
Hang on, are you in R25 or...
Yeah, I clicked the wrong one when I opened it, yeah.
Well, if you were in R26, this would be using the Z remesher, and you get a nicer polygon flow, but it doesn't matter what you're doing.
I don't need this.
This will work.
Yeah.
This will work.
So, right. Thank you, guys.
So anyway, that can be your starting cage. You can run. You can probably drop that even down to a lower poly count.
Yeah. So I'm forgetting now how. I remember
you
once
put
I
a
get to
mesh
the
deformer
tag area, but I cannot remember how to make this the cage.
Oh yeah. You put a mesh deformer on your thing.
That's what
on the thing you want. A thing you want to deform.
Yeah.
So it'd be in that hierarchy.
Mm-hmm. I would reduce his polys even more.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, like that.
That's pretty good. Like, what is like 2 degrees more? Does that totally destroy him?
Oh,
you need to keep the nose inside. That was the problem.
Yeah, because I mean, at that point, you could then make that an X-ray object, turn on your other doof, and like just pull out that like 1 point or whatever.
Yeah, in fact,
it's just a little bit of a pain, but also the benefit is
polygon. Can I?
Fast. Fast soft body dynamics.
I guess I want to do mesh density. 4.5.
That looks pretty good.
Yeah. So, and then we're talking a mesh deformer into here. And at the end, does it matter what order it is?
Probably. And I don't remember.
I'll put it last.
The mesh deformer can be anywhere in that hierarchy. It doesn't It doesn't matter. It just, I would always put it after the mesh that it is affecting it.
And drop it into cages.
Yep, and then hit initialize.
Initialize.
And then anything that happens to that mesh will not happen to him.
Love you guys. And so I put the soft body tag on the mesh, right?
Yes.
You guys
on the not on the mesh deformer.
Oh, on the null or on the remesh?
Yeah, on that.
Thank you.
Now, if you were using R20 or S26, you could use some of the new cloth dynamics to push this mesh around if you want to get funky. But this is the other way to do it. This also works.
All right. I am in After Effects, and I'm jumping to a totally different kind of thing for a moment. I have my little clip of Doctor Strange deflecting all of these laser blasts like this. Kind of cool scene. And I'm going to add a new solid, and then I'm going to add mirror. And then in here, I'm going to go to geometry. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to see if I choose model in here, if we already have a capsule in here. We do. Look at that. I didn't even need to model that complicated capsule. So in mirror, I'm going to grab the capsule model in there, and I'm going to say OK. And now under 3D model settings, I will say create null. And now that's created a lovely null like this, so I can rotate this capsule around in 3D space. But now it needs a texture. So I'm going to make a, let's see, since this is up and down like that, let's see if this is the way it works. I'll create a new composition. It doesn't need to be very big, I don't think. Let's just make it like 400 by 400. And then in here, let's make a new solid. And we'll fill this with some random color. And I'm going to add a new adjustment layer that I'm going to drag down to the halfway point, just like this. And on this adjustment layer, I'm going to add the effect invert. So now I have a red and blue pill, and then I'm going to add an expression on my color right here. I'm just going to say, I don't know. Let's say wiggle 1 by 255. Now I think as I play this through, it should be basically a whole bunch of random but complementary colors. Excellent. So that works great. So that means now back in my Dr. Mario comp, I can bring in that little teeny comp to, I'll put it down here, and I should rename that maybe pill material. And then let's add a time freeze frame. That way I can just kind of drag my time remap back and forth. And what that will basically be doing is like picking a random arrangement of it. So in this case, this blue and red. Now if I go to mirror and go down to, let's see, texture, I can select that pill material. And now I've got a beautifully shaded pill. Let's go to its properties and maybe make it a little bit reflective if I could. Oops, I think that's under, oh, here we go. Reflection, under material, reflections, and lighting. Let's have this be, turn up the reflectivity. And right now the environment map is desert horizon. Let's try sunset field. That might kind of match this craziness. I could also import a custom one, but right now I really want to have a dark industrial maybe. Yeah, that works for me. So now we've got this 3D pill. You can rotate it around. It looks pretty cool. And the shading, we can start to try to match this scene a little bit better right now. Because it's got some default lighting here, but I think that to make this more dramatic, I'll add some scene lights. So let's add a spotlight from the top that is kind of blue. I'll move that way up here and then point it downward. And these don't need to be very precise in this case because I'm not going to do crazy interactive lighting. I just want it to be somewhat, lit by some of the colors from this scene because these are going to be blasting through at laser blast speed. Maybe a little bit of compensation to make them a little bit more readable, but let's do the blue one there. Let's do kind of some orange underlighting to represent all this this crazy magic here. It's going to sample this orange color there. Yeah, see now already, obviously it's not like really matching into the scene, but with some motion and some super comping in there to actually take some of the localized colors, I think this will work well. So I've got to decide what the scale of these pills are. I feel like they should be as long as the laser blasts, but big enough that when they come into frame, they're a pretty hefty thing that he's deflecting with the shields. So this is going to be a little bit complicated, but let's start going through and seeing where some of these hits are. One of the best ways to, if you have a scene that has a lot of energy or a lot of different things happening quickly, you can use the if you're on a regular keyboard, you can start using the shucks. Shift. Usually Shift 1. I need to look at my keyboard shortcuts. All right. In the current After Effects, they have the shift numbers controlling some of the 3D aspects of this, and I actually want to convert them back to...
In your preferences, under 3D, you can turn that off.
Yeah, I feel like I've done this every time I've opened up After Effects on this laptop. We go. So
that sounds not fun.
I'm unchecking these. So right here so I don't want to use 1, 2, 3 for the gizmos right here. I want to uncheck those. So I'm going to say, okay. And now I can scrub through this. And whenever there's an intersection, let's see, there's a good obvious one that could be replaced by a pill. Right there, I'll press Shift 1, and then I can put a marker there. And then scrub through, Shift. Gosh, these are so fast. 2 is another good intersection or collision. It's one there. Shift 3, Shift. Okay, and there's good impact right there. 5. All right, let me just work on this one first. Easiest way to do a collision, obviously, is to work backwards. So we'll start with this pill right where it would be hitting him. So right there, maybe. Add some position and rotation keyframes, maybe. And then just scrub backwards and have that trail off. I'll match the vector of that laser blast a little bit more. And I'll push this pill to zoom way back out there. Oh, I probably need a camera so I can have some better distance for shortening here. Push this pill.
Jason Murphy says it goes out of the letterboxing for that 3D effect.
Exactly.
Which some movies did do, which is very clever.
And then kept for the Blu-ray, which was interesting. Even when it was
very interesting.
Solis FPV, can you obtain training for home studies for non-commercial training? Yeah, there's a huge amount of training on the Maxon Training Team YouTube channel if you're looking for information on learning Cinema 4D. If you have an active Cinema 4D subscription, you also have access to Cineversity, which is a huge library of training resources, mostly for Cinema 4D, but starting to be more for some of the Red Giant tools as well. And if you want some hot girls and boys actions, click on that spammy thing in the chat.
Yeah, I'm good. I got plenty of that. I'm all booked up on. Okay, enough of that.
Enough of that. Don't spam the live stream, people.
These bots,
and
man,
bots.
They were all over the NAB stream. Oh, to answer someone's question earlier before the chat bot got in the way. Red Plaid Films. How was NAB this year? We covered that at the beginning of the show. It was a blast. Hashi sang karaoke. Beeple took Hashi on a limousine ride. It was great.
Just Hashi. It was just Mike and Hashi. It was.
That was
No, but the presentations were really, really cool. If you go to the Maxon YouTube channel, or they're just the regular Maxon YouTube channel, you can watch day 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think day 2 got split into 2 different things because the stream went down for a second. But it was in between presentations, so it was fine. One of my favorite presentations was from, hang on, I want to make sure I say his name right. 3dmotionshow.com. It was day 2. Yeah, Woo Sung Kang was one of my favorite presentations. He was doing music visualizations in Cinema 4D. He had a lot of really cool tips and tricks in his presentation. And Chris Schmidt from Rocket Lasso, friend of the show, he's been on with us before. He also had some great presentations showing off some of the new features in Cinema 4D S26, specifically the dynamic stuff with the cloth and rope simulations that are all new in S26. And yeah, highly recommend watching his presentations, especially his first one. I thought was really good. And of Woo Sung Kang's, loved that. Woo Sung Kang has some really cool tips for rendering out light groups in Redshift so that you have control in After Effects later for how your lighting looks, for keyframing the lighting, so you can really nail it down there rather than trying to nail it down in 3D where you have less you have less fine-grained control. I mean, you have more control, but it's harder to check your work. So if you render out the different light passes from Redshift in Cinema 4D, and you can have control over what lights are affecting what in your scene in After Effects. Crazy good workflow, and a lot of really cool tips for building out a 3D scene. I liked it anyway. Of course,
sure.
Hashi had a presentation showing the evolution of trap code particular over the years.
You don't need to watch that one.
It was great,
but Chad Perkins did an amazing one on Mogerts, and
the Mogerts was fun. He was showing how to do how to control trap code stuff inside Premiere Pro, which is neat.
Isn't that crazy? He was bringing trap code 3D objects into Premiere with controllable sliders and things like that. So cool. Even if you never cracked open After Effects, if you had one of these Mogerts, you could be bringing in mirror objects, rotating them, 3D text objects into Premiere and editing them there directly. Crazy.
Yeah, I hadn't really given that much consideration to that sort of workflow before, so it's really neat seeing it in action.
For sure. It blew my mind. I would never consider that either.
You hadn't? I had. I guess I'm just as smart as Chad.
And also, if you are into ZBrush or any 3D modeling, there's some amazing presentations.
ZBrush had some great stuff.
An insane live sculpt that was really digestible, but also just frustratingly amazing to start. ZBrush is a really fun one to watch any tutorial or live stream of, because you start with nothing.
She and Paul are both great to watch present on that.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So Paul Gabry and Anna Carolina. I'm forgetting her last name. But yeah, wonderful presentations all, and lovely people too. And also, let's all send our thoughts for a speedy recovery to Valentina V, who did I think something like 11 presentations that were all different and taught different groups of people, and unfortunately, as a reward, tested positive at the end of the week. So we wish you a speedy recovery, Valentina.
Yes, we do.
We do. You're awesome. Thank you for everything you do for the community.
My goodness.
I just realized this is like
making little to no progress over here.
Same thing. I'm like, this is the Seth fiddles with just like the little funny thing. Like, oh my God. I'm just like, I'm wasted so much time on this show today, but I don't know what the butt is.
No. The butt is us.
Okay, look, I think I got it to where now finally this freaking thing isn't trailing any pieces behind. By the way, I had to make that. I could not get it to work without making the volume mesh editable. It wouldn't work with me just keeping it procedural. I don't know what I was doing wrong.
Well, that's fine.
That makes sense to me.
Well, thanks, guys.
And you worked it out, see?
I worked it out. So now the trick is... Okay, so I've not ever tried this. If I want to have a... Okay, I want the gravity, but I want to be able to dangle him somewhere. Do I need to do anything to attach to be able to like have him hang in the air?
Ooh, let's see. You might need a
Just realized I hadn't done that.
to dangle him somehow. So software dynamics. I'm trying to think if you can attach a rope point to him or something like that. With cloth, you would use a constraint tag. I'm trying to think of what type of constraint you would use on a portion of him.
There's a number of ways you could do it using like forces and things like that. You could and fields.
Just like a point
if you
on his
wanted to
back
get crazy.
is what I need. I need him just to hang by the arms on that knoll there.
You want to hang by his arms?
Yeah, no, by his back on the base point.
Like by his like scruff. Like,
Oh, okay.
Why
are you doing him soft body, by the way?
Well, because I was gonna. Wow! I just spent a lot of time on something I thought was gonna work and didn't think all the way through. This is the Seth Worley way. I was gonna have him. I was gonna put a vibrate tag on him. Basically, I was gonna have the feet sitting still while his like arms like shook him around, and I was gonna have him flailing around like.
Yeah. For that, you would just do. You've already got him rigged, right?
I did, and I do somewhere. Yeah.
So you could set up dynamic IK chain rigs for his arms and legs, and then all you got to do is dangle him around by his neck or back, and his arms and legs will dangle.
What?
Yeah.
That's all I needed. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I don't ask the right questions, and everybody learns from it. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Before I did any garbage to him.
Let me see. Like this is something I haven't done a lot of, but
so I'm gonna.
So you have him as he is. Okay, so go to his shoulder. Yeah, let's start with his left shoulder. A middle mouse button on it.
Boop. I don't have a middle mouse button.
Okay. Well, that's annoying. Then right click on it and hit stop. Not his neck, on his left shoulder.
His left shoulder. I don't need to start on his neck. Yeah. Do I select
all
all
of them? Yeah, select all of them and go character.
Yeah. I create IK chain.
Yep. And then delete that goal.
This?
Yeah, you don't need it.
I don't need goals.
And then in the IK chain tag, go to the dynamics section and click enable and hit play and see what happens.
Oh, I need to make it hold on.
All right, turn down rotation hold.
Okay.
Yep, there you go.
Okay. Whoa, his hand. What the hell's happening there? Ah.
Oof.
Help me.
Oof.
You might. Oh, hey, hang on. Undo everything.
Okay.
Because you don't need
The
his
left
fingers. Just go to the hand.
What the heck happened to him? I undid everything and it left me with this.
Yeah, his bones are still messed up.
Revert to saved project.
Not unlike Doctor Strange.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had his fingers separated there. Yeah,
I didn't either.
So just select from his shoulder through his hand and spine. Go to spine.
Yeah. My bad. My B.
It's okay. Yeah, left shoulder, left arm, left forearm, hand. Those. So don't. Yeah, from hand to shoulder. Character. Delete the goal.
Goodbye, goal.
That. Enable. Then whatever you did last time.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. So I've got a dangly arm.
You are a freaking wonderful helper of a man. Thank you.
Welcome.
Oh. What the?
What happened? What's he doing?
He's fine now. I don't understand what happened earlier.
I really feel like Doofenshmirtz does fit nicely into our
Spider-Man.
the VFX Royale world.
Yeah, he does. I'm not getting enough use out of him on this episode. Right shoulder, right arm, right forearm, right hand.
All right, I'm bringing in Dr. Mario here into as an element object, and now I've got to see what else I can do. I've got I'm not on my usual system, so I don't have any of my typical background files and stuff, but I want to be able to put him into a similar world as Doctor Strange.
How did...
Let's see, in the scene setup, I'm curious how much he'll break the more I turn up the any Fong kind of stuff on him. Let's see. Let's turn up the normal threshold really high and see if that makes him any smoother. A little bit, that works. Now I'm just interested in making like one cool shot with Dr. Mario at least before we're out of time here.
I feel like this went by fast.
This did. We've got 15 minutes left.
Well, that leaves me out of the time to do what I wanted to do. But
You want us to go to you? I want to see what you've been doing.
you can come see what I'm doing if you wanted to.
Michael, show us what's up. Oh my gosh. Sorry. That was a weird allergy laugh,
no.
but oh my gosh, that's so satisfying.
So this is where I'm currently at. I've got Barney on a desert planet where he belongs. And the X-Wing coming in from behind.
Oh my gosh. We're taking all of the advanced technology that we have access to recreate our childhood
Fantasies.
Yes. And I love that there's like a division. Like if you were born in the same year we were, Michael, Barney was this ridiculous enemy. If you were born like 5 years later, people are like, "Oh, leave him alone. What's with the Barney hate?"
He's our
And
favorite.
then 5 years later, people are like,
Who?
"Barney, who dat?" So
Yeah. So my original plan. Hang on, I've got time to at least show what my original plan was. So hang on, you go to something else, and I'll come back
All right.
all right.
in a bit. Go do something else fun over there on your end.
Oh, we are.
I'm
be
trying to
back.
give Dr. Mario some dramatic lighting here. Just sort of making this up as I go now. Let's turn on the shadows. Nice soft shadows. And that rim light's kind of working. Let's bring it a bit lower here, or maybe over here. Yeah, that side of him needs more light. I mean, he's still the video game model quality, but this will be fun. So this is the action I've got. And I don't know, let's see, do I want a camera out or a
my
camera
gosh.
in for this shot?
That's so
What's
great.
What's more fun? Do we want to be moving toward him as he makes this thing, or do we want to move out with his magic that he's casting? Probably out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so we start on his look of determination. And we'll give it a slight, try to respect the line of this fight. Seth, what is the line when I say that?
Huh?
What does the line mean when it comes to staging a fight or shooting
line
something?
of action?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the plane of action. It's like you're talking about like basically not switching left, right, keeping their eye lines looking the right correction. It's the line of action is how I always have heard it described. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's so good.
All right, so I'm going to start out really slow, and then I want it to really speed away as he finishes this action. Let's see, so he goes big, and then right there, I want to start moving away from him quickly. All right, so I'm going to open up the curves of this camera movement. Let's switch them just to the speed value right here. And for the position, let's have it start. Whoops. Grab that, drag it all the way down to 0, and then have this really speed up right there. So keeping it slow as long as I can, and then zooming away a little bit afterward. And I'll try to do the same with the point of interest. Zoom. All right, that kind of works. All right, I've got to put Mario in a similar situation. So let's quickly scrub through our footage again and see what this overall environment looks like. It's a pretty wild place, this whatever realm. I don't entirely remember the plot leading up to this moment.
Nothing.
So what this area is called.
I remember absolutely nothing.
Remember, it's very nifty. Let's see. That looks like a section I could maybe extract. Let's see. All right, I'm going to grab this little teeny section right here, and it's the simplest trick I think I can do is to replace this with an After Effects composition, and then let me undo that too. And now that I have this little piece of footage, I'm going to reverse this whole thing, and I'm going to stretch this thing out to be a longer shot. Let's make it like 8 seconds long. Use their time remap here. So we've got some motion. Actually, how long is my Dr. Mario shot? It is pretty short. Nice 2 seconds. It's a good visual effect shot. And I just need to stretch this out to kind of cover that in a smooth way. So let's turn on some frame blending, some optical flows, so we just have some kind of like weirdo background moving behind him. Yeah, I think this will work. Let's save that and turn off that music. I don't want that for the moment. Let's call this Mario Strange. Gosh, I so badly want something out of here. All right, let's put this thing in the background. Let's make it a 3D object, push it back behind where Mario is, and then we'll scale it way up. So let's go to the final framing here. the final framing, this should be something like this. Uh-oh. I might have frozen up. No, I didn't. Good. Isn't Mario Galaxy a thing? Like, he flies around in space and stuff?
Yes, it is. I don't remember anything about it, though. Hey, look at my stupid Doofenshmirtz rig over here. This is not like
It's
production
perfect.
quality, but it is satisfying to look at.
Oh my god.
Let's shake him around even more.
Shake that doof.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's amazing. Now I have to say it. All right. Oh, octopus! Doctor the Octopus!
Man, I want to like make a floor and have him be able to like drag across and collide with the floor.
Head first, like you've got to whip him backward and then
up and then
face
back
into
down.
the ground and then slide him.
Well, these things react. I can't add colliders to them, can I?
No, but let's see. So this would be. Would he call this the clawinator or the octopusinator?
Oh, I have no idea. What would it be?
The Dr. Octopusinator. That sounds weird.
It does. Hey, Michael, with the IK chains, is there any way at all to make them like colliders with a plane anyway?
Sorry, I'm just enjoying looking at your thing.
That's weird.
To make his arms colliders?
What would happen if you put a rigid object tag on the colliders and put a floor there that was a...
Yeah, just try that real quick. I'm honestly not sure.
So,
I feel like there is, but I have, again, this is an area I'm not real up on. But your Dr. Doofenshmirtz is fantastic.
So I'll do the floor
Relation tag.
A collider tag or what?
Yeah. See if that does it.
And then, but I've got nothing on him. Oh, okay. So I just.
So now turn like his knees and his feet joints into add rigid tags to them.
Don't do that.
Okay.
No, that'll break it.
Because that'll make them do separate things. There's no geometry on the bones anyway. Go to the IK. Go to the IK tag real quick.
Okay. Which one? I got. Let's see. Legs.
Oh, whichever one.
So there's a leg one.
Oh yeah, there's colliders section right there. Boom.
Oh.
Collision. Or yeah, just put something in the colliders section.
Oh.
You have to enable collisions first.
Oh hi. Plane. Boop.
So do that for all of the IK tags. Yeah. So select all the tags. Don't do them all at once.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now enable collisions for all of them.
Oh.
And then drag that in there.
Oops, forgot that one.
Yeah, then take the collider tag off of it because there's no point in having it off of the plane.
Oh, really?
Oh. It won't affect anything.
Okay. Yeah, selecting them all didn't.
Now hit play.
Hold on. All right. I don't know if it did anything.
It worked.
Oh.
Swished his legs up.
Well, how do I undo that? That's weird. Let's see.
That's annoying.
Yeah. My problem is like, how come sometimes this like the IK tags like the dynamics will do something, and then I'll go back several frames and the deformation will still be there, and it'll just live there. Is it a cache thing or what is that?
It's because they're working. There is a technical reason for it, and that reason has been solved in the R26 with the new dynamic, with the new dynamics, the new rope and cloth, but not in this older setup yet.
Okay, so I could open this right now in R26, but I would have to redo everything.
Well, no, and that's not been brought over into this section yet either in R20 in S26. S26 is just for the new cloth and new rope stuff.
So I would have to redo the dynamics. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, it's fun.
If you froze all his bone positions where they're supposed to be, you could always just reset PSR on them, assuming you zeroed out when you first made it.
Well, this was fun, everyone.
Oh, we got 2 minutes.
Oh, right. So I'll fix it in 2 minutes. That'll happen.
Oh my goodness.
Here, let me stop doing what I was doing and...
Still wish there was a way to just like pin a soft body, because I made this thing and it's satisfying.
No, I do know that the newest cinema has a lot of, you can have a lot more dynamic systems interact with each other than previous versions, which is cool. And I feel like somewhere in that realm is something cool that we'd be able to do.
Yeah.
All right, I've put Mario in a marshmallow. That wasn't my intention. Okay, now we've got a pill shape. And now I want to, let's see, create a group for this secondary pill here. Rotate it down like that. And now under my particle replicator, let's create a sphere out of pills as he's doing this. Whoops. That's not what I want. I wanted... I'm trying to put Mario in some world, some cool thing of pills flying around him.
Oh, that's cool. You could do so much with that.
Let's see, shape scale. I see my particle itself to be smaller.
And if you want to come back to me, I'll talk through what my story plan I had in my head was before we got distracted with doing so many other things.
What?
So my plan was to have the X-Wing come flying in, pew, 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 shoot Barney. Barney's like, ow, but not badly. Then he, like in the Power Rangers, morphs into this big realistic version of Barney. And then I was going to have the X-Wing, as he snaps at it, try to tie a rope around his legs. But did not have time to do pretty much any
Oh my god.
any of that today. But I do have 2 rigged animatable Barneys, and I have a rigged X-Wing. I also, as a side note on the X-Wing, while we're talking about the X-Wing, for future purposes, I've got a blaster null on each one of the blaster tips there, and an engine null on the back. So and I've got putting compositing tags on all of them, so that later I can either in Cinema 4D tie particles or splines or whatever to them to make laser blasts happen on the front, and put lights and flares on the back in either After Effects or Cinema 4D. I've got either way. So anyway, if I export this to Cinema 4D, now I'll have a null object inside Cinema 4D that follows the motion of the X-Wing, but will follow the position of these blasters and these engines, so that I can, add what I need to add in post necessarily, or with particles in Cinema 4D. Very handy.
Man,
That is beautiful.
That is. That would have been really fun.
A whole plan.
Yeah, it was a good plan. Just ran out of time. But we had a lot of fun with rigging in Cinema 4D, making little noodly octopus arms. We had fun building out rigid body mechanical rigs using Xpresso and Cinema 4D.
Michael.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, things. Yeah, so we learned rigging organic spline arms in Cinema 4D.
That's pretty complicated for us.
Using Xpresso to drive the points of the spline. Probably be a good thing to put in there. We used Xpresso also to do rigid body rigging, mechanical rigging, if you want to call it that. Also using Xpresso and user data. Put user data as a bullet point because that's a handy little thing. I love user data, by the way. You can make whole folders of user data, so you can have little twirl downs that are labeled. You can have different tabs. It's a huge amount of control you could have with user data, including putting custom UI elements inside your Cinema 4D interface, so you don't even have to go to the attribute manager to do your animation. It's really cool. We learned some rigging stuff, IK chains. We learned a lot this week. We didn't have a lot of results, but we learned a lot.
No, that's a lot of techniques. So users, go take those techniques and make something competent with them.
Hashi, I didn't even pay a huge amount of attention to the things you were doing. We learned how to model a capsule.
Capsule modeling, the complicated process there.
Pills, how to model a pill.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Good.
Incredible.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? We may not have huge results, but this was exactly the kind of episode that I've been longing for a while, where we just, Hashi and I think I talked about this on the show last week, there's a version of the show where Hashi and I open up After Effects, Hashi and Michael and I open up After Effects, and we just work for hours, and you all just tune in and watch. And this was kind of that. So
it really did feel like that. Yeah, working on this one monitor, I couldn't see our chat. I was just in my own little world.
I just want to thank the 3 people who tuned in and watched, which was basically Frigby Chillweather, Jason Murphy, and a third person.
We appreciate all 3 of you.
Yes.
And but this was a lovely time. So
hang on, there's some questions. There's some questions in the chat I need to answer. Can Barney do the Ray backflip? Yes, because he's rigged and I have it with the solver on him. I can do whatever I want with Barney. He is mine to control. Is it Super Smash Bros. Melee campaign? It should be. Could you make a donut or something hold on to the center of the soft body? You could. And Bang, yes, you could super use Bang to make the blaster things have nice blasty muzzle flashes. Or engines. You could use Bang to make the rocket engines on the back too if you want to be clever. Yes. Yeah. So there you go.
Absolutely. And if you want to see something kind of in the realm of the Ray backflip action, you should watch Jacob Dalton's presentation from NAB this year as well, where he broke down using live action footage of some Knights of Ren characters jumping from one TIE, I don't remember what they're called, like a modded TIE Interceptor to another in the desert through. It's amazing.
That was Jacob Dalton was the second presentation on day 3 of NAB. So in a week or two, Maxon will have edited versions of each speaker's just their presentation with some more information about it. But until then, go back and rewatch the full live stream. Jacob Dalton is the second presentation on day 3. Jacob Dalton, for those who don't know, used to do a lot of work for Video Copilot, and possibly still does. But he was cagey on that in his presentation.
Well, we did it, guys. We did it once again.
Thank you. We VFX'd, we chilled, and we got to have all of you
and
with
we
us.
Royaled, sort of. I didn't even get to Spider-Man. Oh, well. Someday.
Amazing. Hey, yeah, Marvel took a long time to actually get to Spider-Man.
That's true, they did. We had to work out
Disney
the contractual.
Marvel.
We had to work out the contractual stuff. Listen, guys, thank you for tuning in. Hashi, you spoke first. Do you want to speak last?
Absolutely. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember, the Maxon training team has a bunch of other really, really amazing tutorials, so you can learn this stuff in some exceptional detail. And please like and subscribe to our channel too. We love seeing you every week, and share us with some of your closest friends. And come back and chill with us next week.